Have you ever wondered what's really going on behind the perfect glossy facade of Harry and Meghan? We see the glamorous appearances, the multi-million-dollar deals, the smiles for the cameras. But there's a new word making the rounds in insider circles to describe the situation behind the scenes, and that word is bloodbath. A royal expert is now speaking out, revealing a shocking wave of resignations that threatens to tear the Sussex's empire apart from the inside. Why are even their closest confidants abandoning the sinking ship? Stay tuned because this story is far more than just gossip, it's a warning sign. Welcome back. To understand what's happening here, we need to talk about Archewell. This isn't just a foundation, it's the heart of Harry and Meghan's new life in America. It's their production company, their charitable organization, their mouthpiece, the foundation for everything they want to build. Or rather, everything they wanted to build, because according to a new report from Fox News, which cites royal expert Kinsey Schofield, there is a massive problem. A problem so severe it's being described as a bloodbath. We're talking about an extremely high rate of staff turnover. Employees, especially in leadership positions, seem to be leaving Archewell as quickly as they arrive. Let's look at the facts mentioned in the article. Recently, at least 2 top executives have left the organization. Fara Taylor, the head of the marketing department, and Ben Browning, the head of internal content. These are not small fry. These are the people responsible for selling the Sussex brand and producing the content for their multi-million-dollar deals with platforms like Netflix. Taylor was there for less than a year. Browning, an Oscar-nominated producer, was supposed to execute the creative vision. His departure is a huge loss of prestige and expertise. And they aren't the first. Before them, Toya Holness, the global press secretary, had already left, also after only about a year in the role. The list goes on. There seems to be a pattern. High-profile talent is hired with great fanfare, only to quietly disappear through the back door a short time later. For any young company, high turnover is a problem. It disrupts workflows, destroys institutional memory, and sends a terrible signal to the industry. But for Archewell, it's a catastrophe. Their entire business model is based on their image. They market themselves as compassionate, modern leaders who want to make the world a better place. But how compassionate can you be when your own team is fleeing in droves? The report poses this question, and it's an explosive one. So why this bloodbath? Is it just the usual chaos of a startup, or is there more to it? The expert, Kinsey Schofield, has a clear and harsh answer. She says the reason is simple. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are incredibly difficult to work for. That's a serious accusation. Schofield argues that the Sussexes have extremely high expectations that are often unrealistic. They are said to constantly have new ideas, change direction abruptly, and demand round-the-clock availability from their team. This creates an environment of high pressure and constant uncertainty. Employees never know where they stand, or if their work today will still be relevant tomorrow. Imagine this. You're brought in to produce a major Netflix documentary. You develop a strategy, assemble a team, and then, overnight, Harry or Meghan decides they want to do something completely different. All plans are thrown out the window. This isn't just frustrating, it's draining in the long run. The report also points to a potential culture clash. Harry and Meghan bring 2 worlds together: the rigid, protocol-driven world of the British royal family and the ruthless, fast-paced world of Hollywood. In one world, everything revolves around tradition and service. In the other, it's all about image, power, and money. Employees could be crushed between these 2 extremes. What is expected today? The discreet restraint of a palace aide or the aggressive ambition of a Hollywood agent. Schofield claims that Harry and Meghan don't seem to know what they want themselves. They want the benefits of both worlds, the respect and status of royals, and the wealth and freedom of the Hollywood elite, but they don't seem willing to do the hard, consistent work required for either. Instead, the implication is, the blame for failures or delays is often shifted onto the staff, leading to a feeling of being a scapegoat. The result is a toxic work environment that even the most seasoned professionals want to escape. What makes these accusations so explosive is that they don't come out of nowhere. What the Fox News article describes as a bloodbath at Archewell fits perfectly into a pattern we've seen before. Do you remember the headlines from their time in the UK? Even back then, when they were working royals at Kensington Palace, There were reports of a mass exodus of staff. Their private secretary at the time, Samantha Cohen, a loyal and long-serving palace employee, resigned. Their assistant, Melissa Tuapti, reportedly left in tears. There were so many departures that the British press coined a nickname for the former employees, the Sussex Survivors Club. And then, of course, there were the bullying allegations. Several former staff members accused Meghan of emotionally pressuring and harassing them. These allegations were so serious that Buckingham Palace launched an internal investigation. The results of that investigation, tellingly, were never made public, which only fueled further speculation. Meghan has always vehemently denied these allegations, portraying them as part of a media smear campaign. But when you place the old stories from London next to the new reports from California, a disturbing picture emerges. It suggests that the problems may not have always been just the institution or the press, but that they might lie in the way the Sussexes manage their teams. The Fox News report makes exactly this connection. It argues that the bloodbath at Archewell is no surprise, but rather the logical continuation of a behavioral pattern. It's the American version of the drama that previously played out in the British palace. And that's what makes it so difficult to dismiss the current problems as simple startup struggles. This internal turmoil is far more than just personal drama. It has a massive impact on the Sussex business and brand. Think of the huge contracts they signed. The Netflix deal is said to be worth over $100 million. The now defunct Spotify contract was also in the tens of millions. These platforms didn't just pay for the name Harry and Meghan. They paid for content, for documentaries, films, podcasts. And to produce this content, you need a stable, creative, and competent team. You need people like Ben Browning, the Oscar-nominated producer. You need marketing geniuses like Fara Taylor. If these are the very people leaving the company, who is supposed to do the work? Who is supposed to implement the vision and fulfill the contracts? The constant turnover leads to delays and quality issues. Their first major Netflix docuseries, Harry and Meghan, was a ratings hit, but was often panned by critics as repetitive and self-serving. Their Archetypes podcast on Spotify was canceled after just one season, with a Spotify executive publicly calling them fucking grifters. These failures could be a direct result of the internal chaos. Without a strong team that can also challenge them and provide professional feedback, their projects risk becoming mere vanity projects that interest no one beyond their hardcore fan base. Even worse is the damage to their brand. They position themselves as champions of a better work culture and mental health in the workplace. Meghan has spoken in interviews about the importance of compassion and empathy. Harry is committed to veterans and their well-being. But how credible is this message when they apparently can't even retain their own team? The discrepancy between their public image and the reports about their internal management could permanently damage their brand. It creates an impression of hypocrisy, preaching water while drinking wine. And in the competitive world of Hollywood and philanthropy, credibility is the most valuable currency. Once you lose it, it's almost impossible to get back. Let's sum it up. An alarming report based on insider assessments speaks of a staff bloodbath at Archewell. Key executives are leaving the company after very short tenures. Experts claim the reason is that Harry and Meghan are extremely difficult bosses. This behavior fits a pattern we already know from their time in the UK, which led to bullying allegations back then. And this internal chaos not only threatens their multi-million-dollar deals, but also undermines the credibility of their entire brand. Of course, one must be fair. Harry and Meghan are under intense scrutiny. Every move they make is criticized, and many media outlets are not sympathetic to them. Perhaps it really is just the stress of building a global enterprise from scratch. But the evidence is mounting that there's something more going on here. The high number of departures of key personnel cannot be simply dismissed. It points to a fundamental problem in leadership and management. The big question is, can they still turn this ship around? Can they build a stable team that believes in their vision and is capable of executing it? Or will the revolving door at Archewell keep spinning until their ambitious plans sink into chaos? What's your opinion on this? Do you believe the experts? Is this all just a media smear campaign? Or is there an uncomfortable truth behind the bloodbath? Write your thoughts in the comments. I read them all, and I'm very excited for the discussion. If you enjoyed this analysis, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more deep dives like this, and click the bell so you don't miss a thing. Thanks for watching. Stay informed. See you next time.